Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have a question on how to pack products that are glass that can potentially break in shipment, and I'd like to show you how to do that. So first of all, you have to find boxes, and I like to recycle boxes because it saves on our environment, but you only want to recycle boxes that are still sturdy, not all torn up and bent a lot. So what you want to look for, boxes like this, you want to take all the labels off. This one did have a battery label on it, so you carefully peel it off so you don't have battery or hazmat labels on your packaging. And then you want to look for, on the bottom, right there it says Edge Crush 26. Okay.
And that tells you how strong the box is, right?
That's exactly right. And this one says Edge Crush 32. So the higher the number, the stronger the box. So 32 means that it can hold 32 pounds per inch. And 26 says it can, 26, Edge Crush 26 says you can hold 26 pounds per inch. So this would be the stronger box because it's 32.
Yeah, it's just a heavier gauge cardboard.
Correct. And it's see.
That way it can withstand when they load the trucks for shipping, like at UPS or FedEx. They can stack boxes on top of boxes, and that way they don't get crushed under the weight of other packages.
So you can see the difference of the corrugation there. Well, it's hard to get it there, but
yeah, one's thinner than
one's
the other.
thinner than the other. This is the 26, this is the 32. So 32 you want to use up to 40 pounds. You don't want to ship anything over 40 pounds in a 32. But for shipping light items, like I'm going to ship today, I can use a 32 inch.
Yeah, say like if you were shipping like a vintage tin, a small tin can,
Yes.
Or a trinket box, something small, something that won't get broken. And when we recycle our trash on Saturdays over at the transfer station, this is where we get our boxes, because people have already cut the tape and flattened the boxes. And then a lot of them are Amazon boxes. And we pull these out of the dumpster, and this is what we use to save on shipping expenses, because you want to use plain cardboard versus boxing that has advertisement and writing on them. They will not accept these at the post office, but the plain brown boxes like you see down here, they will accept these. So we get these out of a dumpster and we repurpose them for shipping, and we also get all the newspaper from the dump as well, because these are inside covered dumpsters so they don't get wet. So we can get hundreds of thousands of newspapers and literally hundreds of boxes, so that's what also saves on that.
Yes, and then when I take newspapers out of the dumpster, I always pull the people's name off, the address.
The subscriber.
Yes, because you don't want that out there. Their privacy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even bother reading the papers, but just in case they do, it's just...
yeah, I'm just aware of that, so I try to keep everything
right.
good. Okay.
Which is good.
Yes. I have my own roll of packing tape. I use duct tape.
Yep, which you can get right at Walmart, and you
Yep.
can buy spare rolls of tape for it, so as you run out, you just change it.
High performance HP 260 packaging tape.
Yep.
It's strong. And
It's basically postal tape. It's for anything
Yes.
shipping through the mail.
And you can get the tape gun separate or
Yep.
with it.
And Walmart sells all that.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do, you have to rebuild your box. And when I always like to make my boxes stronger by reinforcing it with the tape, because they've already been used once. So you line it up and you just...
Make sure you get everything nice and straight.
Yeah, I'm going to do this side here. There we go. So you want to line it up nice and straight. Usually Kevin helps me with this.
Here, I can hold it while...
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I mean, I can only hold it with one hand.
Right, you're good. Okay. And then you tuck it like that so it's all even.
And then you just make sure your tape is stuck to the box really well.
Now these smaller ones, because I like it to be extra strong, I'll tape both sides too to reinforce it in shipping.
It uses a little extra tape doing that, but it's the assurance that the customer is going to get their product in good condition.
Yes.
Because the better of a job you do packing, the better that assures that they're going to get the item in the condition that you sent it out in.
Correct, and it does. It makes it stronger too using extra tape.
Right.
So it's just one layer. Okay.
It's just a little added protection,
Yes.
a little added assurance that the box isn't going to come open or anything will become untaped.
And so I'm going to ship this.
This is the item she just recently sold
Yes.
on Etsy.
And it's glass. And what I usually do, and I just washed this so I don't need to wash it again, but I usually wipe down everything right before I ship it to make sure no dust got on it or anything. And hold on a second here. So for my first layer on anything I ship, especially if it's something that can get dirty, I like to wrap it in one layer of paper towels, or I use the brown packing paper. Sometimes I have brown packing paper, but today I don't. So I'm going to wrap it once in the paper towel.
And what that does is that prevents the ink of the newspaper from transferring onto the item.
Yes, because when you handle a lot of newspaper, and I have a white sweater on, but your fingers will turn black. So you don't want your item to get dirty. So then I stick it right in the middle. And I fold it over, and then I wrap it up kind of loosely, like that. And I do several layers until it fits in this box. So,
Right, and then you pack all around it.
and then I kind of flip it back and forth because it helps protect it better. And then this paper is kind of thick.
And when you sell an item on Etsy, it will also not only give you the person's name and address, but it also lets you know what state it's going to. Mm-hmm. So that way you know how far the item is going, and the further away from home it's going, the better you want to make sure it's packed.
Yes.
Because it's going to be going on many different trucks and maybe even some airplanes.
Correct. That's correct. So this is going to California, so I want to make it nice and thick.
Yeah, that's 3,000 miles away from where we are to California.
And so I just flip it back and forth. So I ended up on this side. Now I'm going to flip it so it'll end up on the other side. And I just keep wrapping. I usually do about 6 layers of newspaper. It makes it nice and, protected. So and then I just flip it back and forth. This works really well on smaller items like this. And then I just keep doing it until it fits in the box. I'll do one more layer around it.
And then just pack newspaper around it, under it, and on top of it.
That's right.
That way, if anything were to crush this box in, say like an inch or a half an inch, you know that it would have to go pretty far before it makes it to the item that's within the newspaper. And it's just to make sure that nothing happens to the item that has been purchased.
And then when I feel around it, I make sure I can't feel it, which I can't.
Right, it's well padded.
Yep. And so I'll put it in there, and I'll find that there's more room. There's about an inch on top, so I'm going to put one layer of newspaper underneath and then one layer on top.
Right.
To give it extra cushion, because you don't want it to be able to move around in the box at all. So I'll go ahead and push this up.
She just wads the papers up and stuffs them in the box to create just a floor of just crushed newspaper, just like that. And she'll put several of them in there. And then when she puts the package in, she does the same thing on top before the box gets taped.
And so
that just gives added assurance and protection. And you can use bubble wrap. You can use brown packing paper. You can use anything that is going to protect the item in shipping inside the box.
when I use bubble wrap, I only use the first layer of thinner bubble wrap, because what I found is the fatter bubble wrap, they pop in shipment, and the item still gets broken.
Right,
So,
and that creates gaps.
yes, and I don't like using the
large bubble wrap.
the air pocket ones, those big ones.
Yeah.
I don't like using those unless you're putting it in with something that's non-breakable. It just helps it so it doesn't move. Otherwise, it could pop.
Right.
Anything plastic can pop in shipment, so you want to be careful about that. So I'm going to put one layer of this on top.
Yeah, basically newspaper is your best bet. So like I said, if you have a hard time getting newspapers from people you know, just go to a recycling place where people take newspapers to be recycled, and they'll give you boxes upon boxes full of newspapers.
Don't ever want to get any wet, and you just want to watch you're taking the clean stuff because...
And you want to use straight newspaper and not your glossy ads and flyers.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that it's actual newspaper that you're using, because it works so much better.
And so on this package, I need one more piece, because if you press down on it, you'll see that it
still can cave in a little bit.
You don't want it caving in at all. So I'm going to put in probably maybe a half piece in there.
You could probably fit a whole piece in there, because by the time you close it and tape it down, it'll keep it nice and tight in the box.
And you want to make sure there's no air around the corners, because the corners can get crushed too.
Yeah.
So
you're just basically creating a lot of protection all the way around the item, top, bottom, and side to side, end to end. And filling the box with newspaper. And then Bridget always includes a handwritten note thanking the customer for their purchase, which is a nice touch, because a lot of times nobody writes anything handwritten anymore. So that's just something that's really nice that she can include.
It's really tight, so I might take a little out, but anyway.
No, I think that's pretty good. You want it like that, being it's going to California, honey.
Right, and I have to fit my note in there too, so I'm not going to seal it until after I print the shipping label, because when I print the shipping label, it uses a half a piece of paper, so I just tear the other half off and write my thank you note.
Yeah, which is a nice straight edge. It's you fold it back and forth and then rip it straight.
Yes.
And then that gives you the piece of paper to make the note on, which is a nice touch. They appreciate it, and they mention it in their review.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just what I do. You don't have to do that. Okay, so then when you're all done packing it, you have to weigh the package. So you make sure it says 0, and then you put the package on there, and it's 14.7 ounces. By the time I put the label on it, it'll be 1 pound. So I will put that in as 1 pound on the computer, and then it asks for the dimensions, the sides. So you have to measure. I use USPS, the United States Postal Service, on Etsy. They give you a discount to use them. So you measure and you round up. So this is 9 inches by 7 inches by...
And then you got to do the height.
Yeah, the height by 6 inches. So you put those numbers in on the computer. It'll let you know where to put it. And then you just press print shipping label, and it prints off the computer.
Calculates everything for you. And it tells you what the shipping is based on the weight and the dimensions, and it'll tell you how much the shipping costs.
Yes, and Etsy automatically puts the customer's name and address in the shipping label. I don't even have to do that. It calculates the price, and it takes it off my bill automatically, everything. So everything's done automatically on Etsy. That's why I like it. I know it costs a little to use it, but being, a novice seller, this is what I'm going to do for now. Maybe someday I'll have my own website, but right now this works. I really like it.
And that's all there is to it. So now you'll just write your note, add your note, and we'll get it taped up, print the label, and then that will be dropped off with the other sale of the canister set at the post office on Monday.
Now that the box is all taped up, I'm going to show you how to fix the label. So first I tape it clear across the top where it separates, because if I just put the label over it and taped over, it could split still. So I first put a layer of tape there. Then I put the label right on the top of the box.
Right where the old label used to be.
Yes, because you don't want any old labels showing.
Because these boxes that we get were pre-used, and they came from the recycling center. So Bridget, after she peels the label off from the customer that used it before, she just, after peeling off the label, she puts the new label over the box, and then when she tapes it on, you can see how nice it looks.
Yes. And so you want to tape it completely over the label, so none of it
is exposed to rip.
Yeah, because if it rips off, then you don't get your package. So I want to make sure nothing happens to it. And sometimes if it got wet too, you don't want it to get wet. So I just cover up with the label. Cover the label with a layer of, kind of like cricket.
That's all right.
Just a little bit. Anyway, yeah, that's. Usually takes about 3 pieces.
Yeah, that way it seals the label, like she said, in case it gets wet, it's protected with plastic over it.
And plus I'm getting an extra layer across the edges of the box too. Keep it from opening up.
Yeah. It just makes the package extra strong.
Then you want to make sure, especially when you're using boxes, that the corners are not crushed, because that can cause damage too. And if they're ripped, you want to tape over any rips on the box.
As long as the rip isn't substantial. So basically you're reusing boxes that are still in really good shape.
Yes. And see, you should be able to drop it on the floor. I'm not going to, but you should be able to drop it on the floor waist high and not damage anything.
Right.
That's pretty much the standard in shipping places. Okay.
So there you go.
So then I'll take this to the post office on Monday.
That's all there is to it.
Well, thanks for watching. And if you have any other questions, just send us a message and we'll see if we can answer it for you.